Alright, so breaking down Isaac Heaney from the opening round 2024 against Melbourne. So just going to show you 9 different clips and just show some of his work through, especially through that midfield area, and then also a couple where he drops forward. So you can see Isaac Heaney just in this area here, and obviously the ball up in this area. You'll see here a lot of this comes thanks to the work of Nick Blakey, but Heaney is able to get a mark inside 50 for his team here. So if I play the clip out, so you'll see here, like I said, Blakey has the ball up in this area. You'll see that Heaney just drops into here, this area, in through here. So what he's doing here is allowing basically the lane to open up between the ball carrier, so Blakey, and him. So if he's to push up into this area or this area, obviously it's covered by defenders. Even dropping into here would be covered by defenders, and then even dropping back is covered by defenders. So he's kind of finding a little soft spot in Melbourne's zone. In the NFL, they do this a lot with their tight ends, where the tight ends kind of what they call sit down in the zone. And basically what it is opening up that little angle between where the ball is and where they're trying to get the ball to, in this case to Heaney. So you see him just kind of really just staying stationary. See the little point here from Heaney, he just wants it sitting in front of him, and like I said, just opening up that little angle where it's not there, he's kind of like in between, so that Blakey can drop it between. So a lot of this work comes from Blakey, but Heaney's really smart to sit in this spot. Second clip here, so Heaney is obviously this one-on-one with Petrarca. There's a lot made on the night of Grundy versus Gawn, so Grundy being Sydney's ruckman, this guy. What Grundy did was he really got over this kind of halfway point in the centre circle and take Gawn's space away. So what it does for him is he's able to kind of get up into Gawn's space, stop him from actually jumping, and then actually push Gawn this way. So then as the ball goes up in the air, opens up a lot more space in through the back part of this circle, which is where Grundy wants to hit it on this occasion. So basically, with Heaney, kind of happy to sit a couple of metres off Petrarca, close enough to him where he could maybe impact if the ball goes towards him, but basically he knows where Grundy's trying to hit this ball, and that is just to take space and hit through what you call like that 6 o'clock area where you're hitting back towards your own goals. So if we play it out, and he's just able to give a handball there to Warner. Alright, so next clip. So Heaney here, obviously, it's a boundary throw in. This was a really slippery night. A lot of fumbles around the contest and stuff like that. So basically, I want to kind of show you Heaney's patience in keeping his feet really ready, and he doesn't necessarily get to that first ball. He just waits and his feet are ready to go, and basically as soon as the ball pops up, which does take a couple of seconds on this occasion, Heaney's really ready to go and get on that loose ball. And you'll see another clip a lot like this later in the vision, but just basically keeping his feet active, keeping it ready. Not perfect early for the clearance players, and then Heaney just kind of bobbles up and ready to get after it. And this is really good where he drives his leg through the contest, and it's a great kick to McDonald. Alright, so that's Heaney there, just being tackled. You'll see him here come out, and what he does is he kind of doesn't really make too much contact with Oliver, who's his direct opponent, but actually kind of works him under the ball and just slips him a little bit and kind of changes direction and sits in behind him, and the ball just kind of gets popped up towards him. I don't know whether he really communicates with Grundy where he's hitting it, but I think the fact that he starts on the ground, wanders over slowly and moves in behind Oliver, it kind of makes it hard for Oliver to defend, and then pushes Oliver kind of slightly into the contest, and then Heaney's able to get the ball deep inside 50 for the Swans. a little bit hard to see with the angle, but you see him just kind of push Oliver in a little bit, and ends up at the goal for Sydney. So another set of bounce. Heaney is here. Again on Petrarca, happy to maintain space from him. This time he's in more that sweeper position, so basically in line with his defensive goal. You'll see again Grundy kind of working into that space again. So Grundy getting across the line early to try and get up into Gawn's space, and he's actually hitting that same hit back towards 6 o'clock towards his own goal. So I think this is looking at Heaney where he's kind of close enough to Petrarca again to impact, but then also not really right on him, and able to kind of just hold some depth a little bit on this one, and the ball actually just bobbles out to him because he is that furthest outside player and he's held his depth really well. So you can see, if I just go back just a tiny bit, the ball's hitting hands. Oliver and Petrarca are both just too close. The ball is pretty unlikely in this situation to be dropped right down there, which is really the only place that those two can get it. The hand's always going to hit in that direction, and that's where Heaney's obviously first onto it. And then we give his handball there, and Papley came over to help, which is good for him. So boundary throw in. Again, here he is here. Happy to kind of just keep a little bit of depth away from that contest. I think this might be Warner, this player just in here. That one. Probably again just too close to that ruck contest. So ball's kind of coming off hands now. Grundy wins a hit out, and just very hard for Ruckman to pretty much hit it directly straight down. So again, Heaney's rewarded for keeping that depth a little bit. The ball just goes over Warner's head, and Heaney's right onto it, and he's able to turn and get a deep inside 50 for the Swans. Alright, so give us a little zoomed out here. So that's Heaney there, with Oliver being his direct opponent. So this is a really similar clip to that earlier one where, as a midfielder, you got to just stay ready. So that is Heaney here. He kind of stays pretty ready. Again, keeping a little bit of depth from that ruckman. So the ruckman keep coming forward here. As hands get on it, you can see he's slightly behind this Melbourne player, which I think is Langdon. The ball doesn't actually go straight to Heaney here, but it's one of those ones like earlier where the ball just bobbles around a little bit and Heaney's feet stay really active, stay really ready, and he's able to just get on that loose ball once it pops up for him. So as you'll see, there's a little bit of a scrap over here, a couple of fumbles on a slippery night, and the ball just kind of pops up in Heaney's feet. And you can see him constantly moving, constantly on the move, and he's able to get to it and get a handball out. Alright, so these last two clips are in the last quarter, and it looks like Heaney plays more that high forward role, which is kind of his original role, and probably the role he's played a fair bit over his career. It's obviously great that they're keen to get him into the midfield, but I think for him this is where he's a really dangerous player. So you'll see him here, just his running pattern. So Heaney is in this direction. If I can go back, you might be able to see him. So that is his shoe right there. So as the ball goes forward here, you'll see that the running pattern of Heaney is in this direction, where he just basically holds his lane. So he's not cutting across the field in this direction, he's not going any further wider. Basically what he's doing is he's rolling forward, but keeping that width, keeping a little bit of that lane, and really just running from goal to goal in this situation. You'll see he times it really well. A bit of a one-on-one contest and a bit of a scrap here. And Sydney kind of win that ball after that scrap. and you'll see Heaney just kind of pop into screen, continuing to run that lane in through there. And he gets a shot on goal. Last clip is just one of him basically taking a mark down the line. So he just spoke about how he, playing a little bit more midfield maybe this time this year, but I don't want him to necessarily lose this from his game. I think he's one of the best forwards/mids in the game, and I think the point that really separates him is his ability to take a pack mark, especially for someone his size. So you'll see him just come in to screen here. It's him there. So he'll just come in and take a really nice mark here. You'll see that leap that he has. Not sure how tall he is, but he's not necessarily a massive player. But the fact that he's able to just kind of get in down the line and take these types of marks, I think is a really good feature of his game. So thanks for watching that breakdown of Isaac Heaney in the opening round. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next footy breakdown video.